This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you!
Boring. Boring. Boring.
Okay, you got into it. Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
I call again for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, the return of the sausages, the hostages.
Greetings, one and all. I want to complain. I want to complain about the BBC. But before that, please do like and subscribe to Unprecedented TV, the place that tries to bring you the facts and our opinions. But now the twain shall meet. If my point of view, I'll tell you so. Thank you, by the way, for so many of you who are now subscribing to our YouTube channel at Unprecedented TV. And do please enjoy the archive, which has got hundreds and hundreds of programs, most of which haven't passed their shelf life yet. Now, let me complain. This is a personal, short, sharp appeal for common sense. It turns out that the BBC is now claiming that Donald Trump is terrible, or at least it's implying that Donald Trump is terrible for pulling out of a climate accord. And I quote a BBC presenter today who said, greenhouse gases from cars, trucks and power plants among the largest drivers of climate change. This is utter nonsense. Cars, trucks and power plants amongst the largest drivers of climate change. Now, let's think about this. It was the BBC that told us a few years ago that there could be a 2-year drought because of climate change. A few days ago, I heard the BBC saying that there's going to be a lot of flooding because of climate change. We've had exceptional snow in many parts of the world. That's because of climate change. And we've had warming because of climate change. It's all about climate change. And now they claim that human beings who drive cars and trucks and power plants, in other words, power stations, are driving all of this climate change. That's complete rubbish. 97% of all the carbon dioxide emitted every year is natural. If human beings vanished tomorrow, that would reduce carbon dioxide emissions by 3%. Secondly, carbon dioxide represents 0.04% of the atmosphere. So if you had 1 million atoms of atmosphere, 400 of them also would be carbon dioxide. It's a tiny amount. Thirdly, carbon dioxide has got a slightly beneficial effect. It slightly warms the climate, and that's helpful for the atmosphere. But what it's going to do, it's doing now. Because of something technical called logarithmic decay, if you put tons of extra carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, it won't really make very much difference. Put all that together, and what we've got here is a hoax. It's a climate cult. It's rubbish. It's nonsense. As far as I'm concerned, it's the most damaging phenomenon in terms of political campaigning in the world right now, and it's costing trillions of pounds every single year. So Donald Trump's pulled out of this, and Barack Obama, the questionable ex-president of America, says that climate warming gases are bad for your health. How? How does carbon dioxide and the minuscule content that it provides, how does that do you harm? It doesn't, my friends. Carbon dioxide is the gas of life. It's actually what plants eat. So as a result of that, if you get rid of carbon dioxide, you pretty much kill not just plant life, but us too. I put it to you that the mainstream media is telling lies. Cars, trucks and power plants aren't the main drivers of climate. The sun is. Furthermore, if we actually reduce carbon dioxide, if we stop producing any carbon dioxide as a species, the atmosphere will barely notice. So my appeal now to the mainstream media, and I will follow this up with a letter to the BBC, is this: show us the evidence or shut up. At this point, I'm sorry to say, the climate is perfectly well, but those idiotic countries stupid enough to try to reduce their carbon dioxide emissions are handing the keys to the global economy to others. As far as I'm concerned, now is the time for us to call time on this climate rubbish. It's bad for you, it's bad for me, it makes no difference to the climate. But if we carry on like this, I guarantee that China, Russia, India, and all those countries that don't give tuppence for cutting their carbon dioxide emissions will reign supreme in the next 10 years when it comes to the economy. And we'll still buy all the stuff, it's just they're making it instead of us. There is no climate emergency. Carbon dioxide has a slightly beneficial effect, slight warming effect on the atmosphere, but that's about it. So let's stop the climate cult and let's get back to common sense. Please do like and subscribe. That's my short appeal today. And hopefully this afternoon, I'm going to have a rather longer conversation with somebody about the same subject. I'm Lembit Öpik. That was my short and sharp appeal for climate common sense.
Immediate ceasefire in Gaza. The return of the sausages.